Hello, welcome back, everyone. So you guys were headed towards Citadel Volshnik. Important question for you, because I may or may not have asked this, but I don't remember. You were offered an escort to the Citadel Volshnik. Did you take them up on that escort, or did you kind of say, no, we know where to go, we're fine?
Gotta be honest, I don't remember being offered an escort. Didn't the guards boot us out because we were being a bunch of dicks?
They didn't quite boot you out, but I do actually know. Now I specifically remember you guys saying that you were waiting until there were no guards nearby before you had your conversation, your little domestic, which would by default mean
that we wouldn't have one. Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Guy, could you escort us, but like from over there?
Could you follow me from about 30 feet away?
So, you guys, when we last left the session, you guys were headed towards Citadel Volshnik to get with Cressida Croft. The Queen.
Arlen, maybe. Yeah, Arlen's job.
The Queen had asked for your help in restoring order to the city. Given that you had returned her brooch to her, she felt that she and the city needed the help of heroes like you, and asked you to go to the Corvosan Guard and offer your assistance in any way they needed it. Now, is that still your intent?
Yes.
Okay. So, in order to get to Citadel Volshnik, Otto and Amelia, you've been there once before. In fact, you were there this morning.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's right where this green arrow is pointing. This is Citadel Volshnik. There is a large keep and a large courtyard behind it. It's very well fortified, and it is on the south side of the city.
Squee, I don't think you're on the right layer.
I don't think
I am not on the right layer.
Okay,
no.
Yeah.
Okay, this one.
There you go. Yay.
Which means that it's pretty much just a straight shot down Field Marshall Avenue until you get to the Golden Market, and then from there you kind of have to go down some city streets. But you are in a very developed and fairly prosperous part of town. You're not in the rich sector, but you're certainly not in Old Corvosa.
Hey, I live there.
I know. You all live there now. Except maybe Arlen, who still has a hidey hole.
Yeah, she's got a whole attic to herself.
Yeah. So, you guys are making your way, and we'd say that the conversation you guys were having, you probably made your way down Field Marshall Avenue. You are passing the Golden Market. If there's anything that you, as characters, would want to stop by the Golden Market for, you're welcome to. And we can even say that later on, hey, yeah, I stopped by and I picked up this. That's fine. We don't have to, unless you have an interaction that you'd like to do, we can kind of narratively skip past that for now, if everyone's okay with that.
Sure.
With me.
Yeah, that's fine. Can't think of anything.
All right. But I will explain to you kind of the atmosphere of the city around you. You all know by now that the city is in a period of unrest. In fact, the Queen very much just told you this, if you hadn't seen it with your own eyes, that the city is on the verge of chaos, given that many people in the city are not a fan of Queen Eosa. So there's been a few small outbreaks here and there of protests and violence. Nothing that you would quite call a riot from what you've seen, but things have definitely gone down. Arlen, you know that there has been violence. You saw the Sable Company rider on the Hippogriff fall and die, hurt somewhere in the city. The atmosphere is very tense and very, very on the verge of chaos, like I said. And this
towing the line of
exactly
pre-riot.
Exactly. Everyone's on edge. Everyone's just a little bit too pushy, a little bit too aggressive. You when you go down the street, you do see in the hustle and bustle a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering. As you pass the Golden Market, people that normally are haggling are more shouting at each other. It's just the entire vibe of the city seems like a powder keg ready to ignite. And as you are walking down, we'll say probably Harbor View, and you're going to take like Guard Street down to Citadel Volshnik. You're walking down Harbor View, and you turn onto one of the smaller roads, and you start getting into a section of town where there aren't any main roads here. It's just kind of smaller alleyways between all the buildings. Things get very narrow. The buildings are still fairly high and well developed. And you're walking down the street. And all of a sudden, you hear an explosion of sound up above you. Sounds like a clatter. And up above you in one of the buildings on like the third floor, there is a literal explosion of wood outside the side of one of the houses. And you look up at the noise and you see a pseudo-dragon, a house drake. That either slammed or was thrown or somehow flew through the wall and tumbles a bit and hits one of the buildings beside it before catching itself on the wall. And it catches itself on the wall and looks back up at the hole and screeches. And as it does so, 4 imps descend from the hole and begin attacking the house drake. And as that happens, chaos just kind of begins erupting around you on the street, where what started with these 4 imps and 1 pseudo-dragon becomes a mass of pseudo-dragons and imps in the sky, way up above you, fighting. And for those of you who have lived here your whole lives or for a long time, and that's all of you, you know that this is not unheard of.
Oh God, it's that time of year again.
Yes. Actually, that's the thing, though. It's not. Typically, once or twice a year, all of you know that at the Academy, since the Academy focuses on summoning, it's a very big tradition that in order for students to graduate, they have to summon an imp. And many of these imps become familiars, but many more of them don't. And they actually make their way into the city where they wreak havoc for everyone else because imps are very chaotic and ultimately very evil creatures. Their presence has also encouraged the presence of these house drakes who hunt them. House drakes being ultimately good or neutral beings. And every once in a while, once or twice a year, they mass up and actually have these aerial battles. Well, it looks like perhaps it's the chaos of the city, perhaps it's everything that's going on, or perhaps it's just that time. But you seem to have walked right into the middle of one, and it looks to be a nastier one. Now, most of the fighting is taking place above the rooftops, and it must have just started because you would have otherwise been able to hear this from hundreds of feet away. This all seemed to start in an instant. And all of a sudden they're clashing way up above you, but very much closer to you, you see that one drake that is outnumbered by 4 imps that are desperately trying to kill it as it does its best to fend them off, but it is obviously very wounded. The people on the street are running to try and get away from this. Imps can be very dangerous. They seem to be more, people tend to think of them as more mischievous little demons, but they can be deadly when they want to be. So no one generally tries to mess with them. And the street very quickly clears, except for the imps and the pseudo-dragon. What do you guys want to do?
How large are the imps and the pseudo-dragon?
The imps and the pseudo-dragons are about the same size. I'll say it this way. They could probably sit on your shoulder. They're not very big. They're probably about the size of a medium-sized cat. This imps are a little bit bigger than the house drakes. However, the house drakes are known to be more ferocious. Typically, in a stand-up fight, one-on-one, a house drake is probably a more than a match for a single imp. But size-wise, about the same. About the size of a, you know what? I was gonna say about the size of like a chihuahua.
But minus the trembling. Okay.
And much more dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't let the size fool you.
Minus the trembling, double the teeth.
Yes.
Okay. Weary has lived here a while,
Mm-hmm.
and she's seen this quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more like an inconvenience than anything else. Like, it's more like, oh god, they're doing it again. And she just kind of, like, positions herself very neatly under the rafters and starts to approach where this battle is happening.
Okay. All right, give me a second. I am going to move you all over to a different map. Whoops. Whoops. All right. So let me move this here. Move those there. And here we go. Move you guys over. And the imps are pretty much trying to surround the little house drake like this. I don't have you guys in any particular order. Feel free to kind of put yourself in whatever order you think you would be right around there. That's where you were when this happened. The house drake was thrown out of this house over this little this here isn't really a house so much as like a stall. And there are
we can't move our own tokens.
You will be able to in just a moment.
Oh, sorry. Did I call you out?
Well, yes, but kind of necessary, don't you think? So it is more than fine to call me out in such a thing.
You can move wherever you want, as long as it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How dare you ask for control of
Because
the one thing that you can...
Weary understands that sometimes when these things happen, bodies start falling from the sky, so it's important to stay under the rafters of nearby buildings.
All right, so like I said, you can kind of put yourselves there if you'd like.
She's not on the roof; she's under the rafters.
Okay, and as you do that, what is everyone else doing? Just in this this brief 5-second period from when this happened and from the chaos erupting above you.
What did you do? I didn't mean to.
Oh my God! Amelia threw up purple all over him.
Oh Jesus!
Hang on.
Oh jeez! Oh God! Oh jeez! There you go.
So Arlen pulls out her crossbow and loads it.
Okay. Otto and Amelia.
Why are we getting involved in this? Don't we need to go to the keep? That's what Otto's saying.
Well, we can't just let it get killed.
Now, out of character, you're saying that there's a whole bunch of these fights going on right now?
High above you. The only ones down on the level of the street, more or less, are these 5 creatures that you see here. But probably a good 20, 30 feet up above you is, a good 24 or so beings flying around attacking each other.
Imps or house drakes?
Both.
Or both?
Yeah, both. So about 24 total. It's hard to. I mean, there's such a mass that it's kind of hard to separate one from the other at this point.
Intervening here seems like drop in the bucket. I think we have bigger fish to fry. But whatever.
Anybody else have an opinion? I'm fine.
Weary doesn't really enjoy watching fights that are fair, so she's going to interfere.
All right. Arlen kind of feels the same way. If it were more of an even fight, then she might try to go around, but this is very uneven, so.
Okay. In that case,
Open up, Larry.
if everyone would please roll for initiative.
Roll for initiative.
Starting the session off right.
As soon as I remember how to roll for initiative. Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, I rolled a 4,
Yeah.
7, I guess.
You guys have had 2 whole sessions with no combat.
Yuri got a 13.
That's unheard of.
I know, all we did was talk.
You
gosh.
painted. Excuse me.
Excuse me,
got
the
a
bee
6.
is painted? Thank you.
God.
Very, very true. All right, so
And Arlen
And it
rolled
was
a
because they
monster
enjoy
natural
partying.
1. Beauty.
Ooh.
oh, Ireland. Ireland.
What? Did I roll highest on initiative?
Ireland.
That's crazy. That never happens. I never go first.
You can
All
never
right,
get
so
to
this
say
is
that
the
ever again.
Imps.
Yeah, I know.
The Imps rolled a gentleman's 4, and the House Drake.
You can do it, buddy.
He rolls a natural 1. Well, he is kind of outnumbered. So I suppose that does make sense. All right. The Imps actually, that's going to be a 5 in case that matters. Everyone else rolled for initiative, but no one's on the turn order. That's odd.
Oh, you have to select your icon and then
Oh, that's
roll,
right.
or
That's
is it-
right. That's
don't you?
fine.
I
That's fine.
forgot.
This time, that's fine. I'll just add you guys manually.
So
That way
this
you
is
don't have to roll
the
again.
first time Arlen actually did have her initiative correctly.
Yeah. All right, and Amelia. Which, by the way, our viewers, I asked a while ago, a few episodes ago, if they wanted us to kind of slim down the combat a bit, because we all know combat can tend to have its moments that drag a bit, and the resounding answer was no. Leave it all in. They want to see every ounce of your pain, every
Oh,
bit of your
God.
suffering.
You cruel bitches.
They want to see every single time Amelia misses with lightning bolt.
Oh,
Look, man.
Oh.
Look, man.
that was cold.
Hey, I'm not the one that chose that.
I know. You're
just
not the one that
I'm
chose
just
to
the one
miss
painting it
half
in a
of the
really
times
bad
of
light. I'm just the one twisting everyone's optimistic and hopeful things to. All right. So, Miri, you are first, and the map is to scale. So feel free to use your ruler to measure out distances if you need to.
Okay. I think the first couple turns are just going to be getting over there because we're kind of far away. Unless Arlen wants to take some shots.
I think you can move 6
You have a crossbow.
tiles and then still attack, right?
You have a base movement speed of, I believe, 30, which would be
6.
yeah.
It's 5
you
feet a
could
tile.
Oh yeah, you could reach them and still attack in this turn.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
These houses aren't
yeah,
very
she'll
big.
probably.
honestly.
This is yours. God, we need another computer. So she is just gonna kind of gently make her way over. I can't move this. Stop being smarter than me.
Oh, no.
I'm just more observant.
Is that can you willfully get less intelligent? I suppose it's possible.
I could just stop pointing things out.
So the imps are not very large, right?
Yeah, they're about the size of a chihuahua. A little
Very
bit smaller,
angry
maybe.
Chihuahuas.
Mm.
So can we just step over them and pick up the house drake?
Well, no, they're fine.
No, because they're not on the ground. They're probably at about head level for you. Because the drake is, the house drake is technically is currently attached to the wall with its claws. So it fell to about your head level here, and it stuck to the wall, and that's where it's defending itself.
Okay. Because I've had cats that have done that before. He's just gonna kind of gently duck under everything that's going on, and like trying to unstick the dragon from the wall.
Okay, that's gonna provoke attacks of opportunity from all 4 imps. You sure you want to do that?
Yeah, she's not really interested in fighting them. They're not.
All right.
She doesn't really believe that they're very evil. They're just kind of inconvenient.
Got it. Okay then. Give me 1 second. So, go ahead and move your character. Well, we'll leave it there now, just for sake of clarity.
Do I have to roll to unstick a dragon from a wall?
No. You don't have to roll to pick up a house drake. But
He's kind of stuck.
yeah. So give me 1 second here while I figure out. Oh, hang on. It would help if I'm on the actual imp. I was like, that's not his abilities. That's not his abilities at all. Okay. So I'm gonna go just in order. So
Okay, and let me check what my
this
AC
imp,
is real
this
quick.
imp, this imp, and this imp. Got it.
Where did I put it? Oh, Laura, where did I put it? There it is.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna go the imp next to you first. He rolls to bite you. That is a 8 versus your AC.
Nope.
That is a miss. Okay. Second one rolls to bite you. That is a 21 versus AC.
That'll hit.
All right. I'm gonna roll for all of them first, and then I'll do damage. Third one rolls to bite you. That is a 19 versus AC.
That'll meet AC.
Okay,
a
so
hit.
that does hit.
Okay.
And last one. That's 12. So 2 misses and 2 hits, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so that is going to be 2d4 damage. So you take 7 points of damage, and please roll me 2 fortitude checks, please.
Hold on. It's 19 minus 7. Hold on, I can do math. 19 minus 7.
Oh, and they're not biting you. Sorry, they're stinging you. They're stinging you with their
What?
tails. Yeah.
That's gross.
Oh, not their tails, their claws. But yeah.
Okay. There we go. You said roll twice?
Yes, please. Okay. That is a success, and that is a success. Okay. So you take the 7 points of damage. You pick up the house drake, which is not in great condition. And you are currently here. I'm going to just trade this around. While you're holding him, I'm going to make the house drake invisible and move you here.
Okay.
All right. So that is Muri's turn. Otto, it's your turn.
Okay. My speed is only 20, so I cannot actually make it to them and attack. But I'm gonna go here and yell really loud at them, aka try and intimidate them and maybe scare 1 or 2 away.
Okay.
You might actually scare Moiri in the process.
Let's see here.
What the fuck are you doing?
She can charge 4 imps like it's nothing, but
17.
But for God's sake, don't sneak up behind her.
17 to intimidate. And what? This is just a DC check.
I don't know. I'm just.
Good job.
You decide. You're the GM. It's what I can do.
Well, I'm trying to think. So you're using your skill intimidate, yes?
Yeah, like I don't have a spell or anything. I'm just trying
Got
to
it.
yell at them. and maybe freak
I'm
them
just
out.
gonna see what their abilities are and how susceptible they are to such things.
I don't want to waste a spell on these chumps.
You just called imps chumps.
A
They're
bunch of,
chimps.
they're chump wawas.
That's okay.
Oh, and I bang my mace on my shield for extra effect.
Got it.
God,
So
not where I thought that was going. Okay.
I've never actually tried this before. I'm sure there's probably some rules for it, but what I'm going to do, what seems the most fair to me, is they're going to have to make a wisdom save, will save against it. So you rolled a 17, so basically that's what they've got to beat, is what I'm going to go with for right now. That's probably
That's terribly
not right
generous.
at all. I'm sure the viewers will be like, "What?"
It's very
But-
generous.
It makes sense. It's very generous because you rolled well. You know what I'm saying? If you hadn't
Yeah,
rolled well at
that's-
all, it wouldn't be as generous. So first one makes it with a nat 20. He not
I just
even
enrage
phased.
him. He's just pissed.
Second one fails. Third one makes it. Fourth one makes it. So this one actually gets scared off by you and flies off and up about 10 feet.
Yay.
So there you go. And like I said, probably not exactly how it works, but it works fine for now, and I'll look it up later. Amelia, your turn.
Oh God. Let's try some lightning.
But
Why
you're level
not?
2 now, so it's better.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I have
Such
to.
pessimism.
I gotta roll to strike.
It's under attack, so
Attacks.
where it should be.
Ranged.
Hmm.
I got a 16!
16 versus their AC, correct?
Yes.
Does it hit all of them?
Is
just
it their?
one.
It's their touch AC, right?
Yes?
I think so, because it doesn't matter if they have armor or not. It's gonna hit them. So there. That's enough to hit. That is no. Yeah, that is just enough to hit. And which one are you firing at?
I'm firing at that one.
Okay, and use what? 3 points of damage, or is it 1d3?
Yes, I need to do a 1d3. So
Put this down, would you? You're holding a binder and trying to
One
type
day.
with one hand.
One day I will memorize all of this stuff. You'll see.
Oh, there we go.
2 points of
All right.
damage. All right, so it's kind of scorches off his shoulder. No, it scorches his shoulder a little bit. It scorches it straight off. All right,
Scorches his
damn.
eyebrow off.
and it cries a little,
No, Eddie, the eyebrowless imp.
like a little imp scream.
Shut up.
All right, now it's the imp's turns. Okay. The one that was intimidated is just going to fly up above. It's kind of second guessing its life choices. The one that just got scorched by Amelia is actually going to fly past Otto, invoking an attack of opportunity to attack Amelia. And the other two are going to attack Miri again. So let's handle that one first. Otto, if you would, if you'd like to take your attack of opportunity, please do.
Instead of swinging my mace at it, I'm going to give it a kiss on the way, but no, I'm just kidding.
That is a natural 1.
Oh.
That's very sad.
Please roll again to confirm the fumble.
That's very sad.
You throw your mace at it.
That is a confirmed fumble, which means you get to draw from the critical fail deck.
Oh,
Yay!
All right, so give me a second. Shuffle it, and can you draw from it, or do I have to draw from
I
it?
have a thing that says draw, yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead and draw.
Draw
And then
one
your
cards.
weapon's a mace, so it would be blunt.
Boom. So melee, I guess. The attack deals damage
Yeah,
to you
melee,
instead of the
sorry.
target. Wow, that's fantastic. So the
Oh,
first
no.
roll did damage to me, so that's 10.
10 points of damage to you, my friend. As you go to swing at it and you miss, but the momentum carries it like into your shin or something.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So it misses him. Amelia, it's going to attack you now.
I don't have that many hit points.
Neither do I.
How do I
So
Armor.
delete the card?
I'll get rid of it. Hang on.
Oh, delete worked.
Oh, there you go. All right. And let me go ahead and hide these for now. All right. So Amelia, this is towards your AC. That is an 11.
I believe mine is a 13. I hope mine is a 13. I should pop this
The
out.
imp doesn't.
Should be under defenses.
Yeah, it should be.
There's your 18 and 13 right there.
13,
Okay,
yes.
there you go. All right, so that's a miss. Nice. Okay, Muri, the other two are going to attack you. The first one tries to sting you. That is a 14.
Nope.
Second one, that is less. No, it's a 16.
Nope.
Okay, well they slide off your armor. They have yet to penetrate your. Well, they've damaged you before, but they failed that time. So that's the imp's turn. Arlen, it is your turn.
Arlen's gonna shoot at the one. See if I can get it to. I don't know how do you do the pinging?
Just click and hold.
Did that, but
You have to be clicked on the arrow.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Select move tool.
Okay,
There
that
you go.
one. The
Okay.
first one. So point blank shot. 17.
17 versus its AC. Its AC is a 17.
Ooh.
So that
Okay.
is a hit.
For
6 damage?
6 points of damage, yes.
Okay. Your arrow sticks in its side, or the bolt sticks in its side. It gives our angry screech. All right. The house.
And I also use my move action to reload my crossbow.
Okay. All right. The house drake is casting Cure Light Wounds on itself. Give me a
You
second.
good little guy? Cow? Dragon?
Thing. 5 points. Okay. So it's basically kind of curled up in Weary's arm, or like under. Weary, I don't know how you're carrying it exactly.
She put it under her poncho so that
Oh,
it
okay.
doesn't
So it's
get hurt.
you can you can't hear it. Pseudo dragons don't speak very often. Typically, if they want to communicate, well, actually, you know what? No, you'd have to roll knowledge check to know this stuff. So I'm not just going to give it to you. Anyway, you can sense magic being cast on it, being a healer yourself. Weary, it's your turn again.
Okay. I'm gonna use my movement action to get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Unless you're only taking a 5-foot step, that would also incur attacks of opportunity.
That's fine. I've got places to be.
Okay, so you're going to take the tax opportunity. Got it. So this is the first one on your left. That is a 17 versus AC.
Nope.
All right, and the one on the right is not. So those are misses. Or they hit, but they slide off your armor.
Okay. So how far did we say that I have a movement action? 30?
30 feet.
What? Hold on. How far? Okay, so could I get here? Yes.
Sure.
Okay. We're gonna just walk away from this combat.
All right. Anything else you're going to do for your
yeah.
action?
Nope.
All right. Okay.
Man, we got places to be. I don't have
understand.
time for this shit.
Otto, your turn.
Otto is going to squash the imp that is attacking Amelia.
Please don't chase again.
Hoping no one saw the last fumble.
Yeah. Hopefully this time I don't accidentally hit my ally.
I can take the blow to my
Oh my
shin,
god!
but not the
Are
flash
you
crash.
Furious right now.
Oh,
So if I draw the same card, I'm actually going to knock myself out.
Oh god!
Oh
Roll to
my
confirm.
god.
No, it is not a confirmed
Oh,
fumble. You
okay,
would
good.
have hit it, so it's only a miss. That's all it is, which is
Whew.
not a fumble.
You had us scared there, dude.
All right. All right. So that's Otto's turn, unless you want to use a swift action for anything.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Amelia, your turn.
I would like to shoot more. Actually, no. I'll go for a acid splash at the.
The one attacking you.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm really bad with words today. I don't know why. All right,
It's fine.
so ranged.
That's a hit. Look at you, level 2.
Hey, 21.
All I had to do was level up, and now look at me. I'm not a scrub
The
anymore.
dice leveled up with you.
Yeah,
Oh, apparently.
we all knew level 1 sucked.
The game was just like really trying to make that sink in.
Yeah.
All right. How much damage? Damage.
50. There we go. Just 1d3, isn't it?
2
Two
points of
again.
damage. All right, you are slowly whittling him down with lightning and acid. And all right. He
Nice
still
witty
doesn't look
commentary.
incredibly hurt. He looks more pissed off than hurt. Arlen, your turn.
Did you skip the imps?
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
Why did you point it out?
Yeah, we
I mean,
totally could have slipped that one under the rug, and
What a t-
nobody would have minded.
What a teacher's pet.
This is.
I mean, I shoot at the imp that's attacking Amelia.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's too late. You already.
Nice
All right,
recovery.
First things first. First things first. Okay. The imp is still floating up there, considering its life choices. Otto really shook that one up for some reason.
Well, it's
Damn.
because I yelled at him and then I like hit myself with my own mace. He's like, "What is with that guy?"
It's just like this
guy's
dude's
crazy.
fucking crazy.
It was like a strange show of dominance.
That's right.
These two imps are continuing to pursue Muri and the house drake that Muri is carrying. So they're going to fly over and attack her. And the other one is going to continue to attack Amelia, who is really pissing it off. So we'll do Amelia first. Amelia. This is versus your AC. This is a 15.
Oh, it's a hit.
Oh.
All right. You take 2 points of damage and roll me a Constitution save, please.
Oh. Alright.
That is a
Roll
succeed.
the 15.
So nothing happens. You feel that there's something in your wounds, but it's not really affecting you. You're able to shake it off. And then Muri, these two are going after you again. They're harrying you.
Whoopee. Man,
Man,
I just wanted to run some errands and shit.
14 versus AC. I think that's a miss. Add 8 versus AC. I don't know.
Yep.
Just walking through like,
Alright.
It's like cats trying to attack you while you're wearing heavy clothing. You just kind of
Yeah.
ignore them.
like,
All right, Arlen, it is your turn now.
Okay.
Was I or was I not correct that they're just kind of an inconvenience?
for you, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, for me.
Amelia's over there. Huh?
Just swatting at him like, no! I'm not a melee.
Okay.
One of our melees just walked out of the battle.
What is my movement speed? Hold on.
Oh boy.
What is my movement speed?
6, probably.
Yeah, for most people it's 30. Give me a second, I'll check for you real fast.
Yeah, 30.
Just in case
Okay.
yours is different. Okay.
It's 30. So I am gonna move. Right.
We'll have to think for one more.
So Arlen is gonna move towards Muri
Mhm.
and do.
Thank you for your vote of confidence. She's not stopping for you.
No, but I'm gonna attack the imp.
Okay.
It's
Wait,
not
which
about
imp are you attacking?
The imp.
Yes.
Is that
That
the
one.
same imp that I hit last time?
Hang on. Yes.
Okay, so that's the imp I'm going to shoot. Arlen is going to shoot.
Okay.
At. Arlen's going to shoot at that imp.
You're right.
And
Differentiate
rolled
And
them
miss.
by
13.
the fact that
And
one has a
miss.
crossbow
That's a
bolt
miss.
in it. Yeah, there does not.
Okay, so that's a miss. Do you want to do anything with your swift action?
Nope.
Okay.
I already moved, so reloading is a move action, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Good cricket out, would you?
House
No.
strike.
Okay.
Muri,
Yes.
you suddenly feel words kind of forming in your mind, and you can instinctively tell it is from the little pseudo dragon under your poncho. So then it says, "Thank you."
Think nothing of it.
And that's its turn. Weary, it's your turn again. You are being harassed by some mosquitoes?
Yeah,
Gnats?
something like that. Yeah, we're just gonna just. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Oh Lord, that wasn't funny. You scared the shit out of me. No, I'm sitting in like a wheelie desk swivel chair, and she just like suddenly did the lever thing that dropped me about a foot.
Ah.
Scared the shit out of me, dude.
It's the GM's job to sabotage the players.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, you're going to take a tax opportunity if you do that. You know this by now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're okay with that.
All right. So imp number 1. That is a 6. Jesus, my neon dice are failing me tonight. 4. They don't even hit your armor. They're just swiping it.
What happens if I leave the map? Do I leave combat?
You just become the honey badger of the
Not
group.
technically, no. Not until they stop pursuing you.
That's fine. They can pursue me all they want at this point.
Right. We would just take the battle to the edge of the map and know what's going on.
Okay.
Otto, your turn.
I do the same thing I did last turn.
Okay.
No, don't do that.
Well, no.
Well,
he
no,
already
last
did
turn he
that.
did fine. That's more than enough to hit it. That's 7 points of damage. All right, that smacks it good. It actually looks like you broke one of its legs. Because you can hear a small snap.
Did you not hear me?
What?
No,
Sorry?
I'm talking to Alora, and I've repeated myself twice, and she's like, "What?"
Okay. Otto. So yes, that connects. Does 7 points of damage. Anything else you're going to do? I mean, not that you haven't done enough, but
Yeah, no, I'm.
Oh, he's done enough to himself.
No, I'm fine with that. I don't think there's anything else
Okay.
useful I can do.
Amelia, your turn.
Is this thing still alive?
Oh yeah, it's still alive, but it does look like it's starting to take quite a beating.
I'm throw another bolt at
In
it.
his yap it.
Mhm.
Got a
Unfortunately,
7.
that is a miss.
Boo!
We
All right,
talked up the dice, and then they got performance.
Anything else, Amelia, or just is that it?
She's gonna she's gonna like move out of the way as Otto comes bowling through.
All right, so you're gonna take a 5-foot step. More.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, it's the Imps' turns. First things first. Okay.
So which imp is that?
The one that
that's running away.
Otto's scared.
Yeah.
It's got its courage back and it's coming straight for Otto.
You know what? Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
know
have to listen to you.
I'm crazy too. As he takes a swipe at Otto. 16 versus AC.
No.
All right. Amelia,
Just so unimpressed.
the one that's attacking you is going to continue to try and attack you. That is a natural 20.
Oh.
All right. Rolling to confirm. Oh, a natural 1. So
Can
it's
that like
just-
cancel it out?
No, unfortunately not. But it's not a critical, which is really good. All it is max damage, which is only 4 points of damage. And please roll me a fortitude save. So 4 points of damage and a fortitude save, please.
Fortitude's under defenses. There you go, right there.
A
A
natural,
natural
20.
20. Fuck you.
Okay, so it does 4 points of damage to you. That is all. Miri, These things are pretty dogged. They are still coming after you. They seem to be easily able to keep up with you as
fine.
they are flying.
We
So-
figured at this point.
So, first one attacks. Nope. Second one attacks.
That's a natural one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Eventually,
yeah.
they'll kill themselves with critical fumbles.
I know.
right? Natural one
If
and
you
roll to
don't
confirm.
first.
No, wait, that wouldn't have hit, right? You're
No.
19 AC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately, it's not a named creature. No, actually, no. I'm sorry. That's critical successes. Not unnamed creatures can still critically fail. Everyone can critically fail.
Did he just critically fail?
He
Yeah.
just critically
Yes, he
failed.
did.
I'm gonna cry. That's amazing.
All right. Me. I get a card. Hello, card, please.
That's like some Inspector Gadget shit right there. Get the
All
bad
right,
guy to
so-
accidentally kill themselves.
It is a natural attack. So pins and needles. It's sickened for 1d6. Oh, okay. So it goes to attack you, and in its frustration, actually gets in the way of its partner, who claws into it by mistake, and all of a sudden, it starts retching. And it's going to be sickened for 4 rounds.
Good
Oh,
job,
man.
buddy.
Yeah, where are my neon green dice now? All right, Arlen, your turn.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is reload my crossbow,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see. Shoot at one of these. Okay. Would this one be in melee or not? Because Amelia stepped back.
No, it's still in melee because it's still diagonal to her. She
Okay.
stepped to the side, but not back.
Okay. Well, then I will just shoot at. Can I go ahead and shoot at that one, anyways?
Yeah, you can shoot at a creature that's in melee. It's just a -4 penalty to your roll.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I don't have much choice, so
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and shoot at that one, anyways.
Sure. So that's a 22 -4 is 18.
Yeah.
That's still a hit.
All right, and I did 8 points of damage.
No, you killed it.
Okay.
As your bolt slams through its neck and actually pins it to the stairs.
Yep.
It's like
You see his
killing a
little-
mosquito on your wall that just stays there for the next 6
it's-
days.
Little broken foot just kind of sways back and forth.
Oh, poor little guy.
All right, Arlen, well done. Weary. The house drake is staying up in your poncho and continuing to cast another Cure Light Wound spell on itself because it was hurt really, really badly. All right, 5 points healed to it. Okay, your turn again, Weary. Same old, same old.
Yeah,
All right, give me a second.
they've only got 2 imps to deal with. They're grown ass adults. They can deal with it.
So the non-sickened one is attacking. 17 is not a hit. The sickened one, which is at a -2 to all attacks and saves because it's sickened, hits you.
Isn't that a -2?
Yeah, I already did the -2. Yeah,
Did he? Wait.
Yep.
Yes,
No.
they
It's
usually
+2
have-
Oh,
instead of
okay.
+4.
yeah, it's +2
Okay.
instead of +4.
Oh, okay.
So it hits you.
was about to
So
vomit.
I'm gonna need a Fortitude save, and you take 4 points of damage.
Okay.
It hits you.
The
But
thing is
good.
if you keep running away, like we won't actually be able to catch you because we're
Yeah.
at the same speed.
You'll
Yep.
catch up eventually.
No,
Okay.
not if you
No,
keep
we
running.
won't.
Actually, you won't. Yeah,
That's
they
not
won't.
how it works. If 2 trains leave a station at different times going the same direction at the same speed, when will they meet?
Well, then go faster.
We
You could
can't.
double-
Yeah,
you-
Mr.
no, you
20.
technically
Yeah,
could
you're the
double
one with
move.
20-foot movement speed. That's not my problem.
Technically, you could double move, but that would take your whole turn. So you save the fortitude save, so you just take the 4 points of damage. Though your hit points aren't infinite, they will eventually kill you or leave. One of the two.
Yeah, or I get to where I'm going, and then we are
You
done
are
with
very
this.
far away from, at this point, relatively speaking, Citadel Volshnik is pretty far away. All right, Otto. No, sorry. Yeah, Otto, your turn.
Will the Muri run, I guess, or
What did
Yeah,
Moira
Miri
do?
already did. Miri already
No.
did, and those were the attacks of opportunity.
But she didn't.
they did,
Okay.
I don't
Yes,
know how
because
you're
she's
gonna...
at the edge of the map.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah,
we
no,
can't
that's
just,
fine
like-
with me. That's
Yeah.
fine with
Sorry.
You
No,
have
it's fine.
to extend it now.
me. I'll just attack
all
the
right.
other one right next to me.
Okay.
Yay! Big hit.
That's a hit. That's 12 points damage. That's a really solid hit on it. You actually tear your mace breaks its wing, and man, it really is rethinking its life now.
I tried to get it to run away. It wouldn't listen.
Yeah, I know.
It's not my fault.
You were being so.
I gave it every opportunity.
I know. Amelia, your turn.
Amelia, suddenly realizing that she can't see where the hell Weary went, is going to try and double move in that direction.
Mhm.
So that would be 60 feet.
hmm
Well, because you're on my screen.
And also keep in mind that if you don't want to get an attack of opportunity, you can technically move past this imp here, but you'd have to move to here and then down. So you'd have to move 15 feet this way, and
But
then
you can
from
move
there,
diagonals, so it really makes no
Exactly.
difference. You can make
Yeah.
it to here
Okay, that's fine.
or
Yeah,
here.
I'm just letting you know that.
Here,
yeah.
and then here, just like, bye guys.
Mhm.
So as Amelia starts running out after Miri. All right, it's the imp's turn. Oh man, Otto. Yeah, this imp's he's out. He's like, this was a horrible idea. I am not as crazy as this man is, and he's gonna fly away, taking an attack of opportunity.
Dope.
That's a miss, so it flies off. Muri, they are continuing to attack you. We'll do.
God, can't I distract them with like a reflection in a window or some shit?
I mean, you can.
They
attempt
can't
to-
be very smart.
You can attempt whatever you'd like on your turn.
Nah.
All right, first one, non-sickened. That is not a hit, and second one that is sickened. Not a hit. Okay, well. Gotta say, hand it to them. They are persistent, if nothing else. Arlen.
Persistent but not efficient.
I know, they're imps. Arlen, your turn.
So can I move and load my crossbow but not fire?
Yes, you would be using your standard action to load it.
Okay. So that's what Arlen's gonna do. She's gonna run over here and load her crossbow.
Okay.
Dude.
All right. So, Muri,
Mhm.
from under your poncho, a fresh and revitalized house drake bursts forth and attacks one of the imps.
Hopefully not like through the poncho.
Like one of those
No, it
alien
would-
children.
It
Yeah.
would take the path of least resistance, which means
So,
that
like,
you'd probably
out the
like go out
sleeve.
under the bottom
Out
of
the
it. Yeah,
sleeve.
yeah. And it like
Like a magic trick. I can
lunges.
produce dragons from underneath my poncho.
It
Is this your
lunges-
card? No, that's a dragon.
Let's see. Yeah, it lunges towards the sickened imp.
You got this, buddy.
Okay, and tries to bite it. At a sorry, that is a okay. As a 17, that is just enough to hit it.
Yay!
So it's the sickened imp, and it does 4 points of damage to it
Good job.
as it bites at it. All right, that's its turn. Back up to Weary.
Well, the dragon has refreshed itself,
Mm-hmm.
so she will probably at this point pause and wait for everybody else.
That's it? You're just gonna...
Yeah,
You're not gonna swing at the things in there.
no.
I do...
She's got her
I do understand.
reasons, okay?
I was gonna say, it makes sense. It's not like they've been a huge threat to her so far.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I'd say how much damage they've given you? Actually, a fair bit of damage for a level 2 character.
Yeah, but like once every 4 turns,
Yeah.
it's
All right.
not a lot to contend with, and there's only 2 left.
All right, Otto, your turn, sir.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use my steel cloak on the one flying away.
Okay.
No survivors.
What's the range on it?
30 feet, I think.
Oh,
it's
that's
pretty
more than
far.
enough range to hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 30 feet.
It's more than enough to hit it. Well, that's a
crit.
critical and a confirm.
Damn.
Please draw from the other deck now.
Damn, a 25 followed immediately by a 23.
Yeah.
Dude.
This poor... we're not going to say poor imp, because it is an imp, but man, did it choose wrong.
I'm not as crazy as this guy.
Well, so what kind of attack is this?
It's
Range?
a blunt.
Actually, I think it's
Bludgeon,
slashing.
sorry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's your cloak. It's slashing. It's slashing.
Yeah,
You're not your cloak,
slashing.
your scarf.
it's my cloak.
Your cloak. Right.
Get it
Double damage
straight,
and 1
Squeak.
con bleed. I think it's dead.
I think it's dead.
Maybe.
So-
Well, you rolled 6 damage? Yeah.
Ooh, rupture
Well, the-
abdominal cavity.
So, what exactly does it do to the imp? Would you like to describe how this kills it? Because it killed
We
it,
just-
but good.
We just, like a guillotine right through the middle of the torso, just split it in 2, pieces fall. Right?
Oh my god, yeah, so it's just two halves fall to the ground.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, because the cloak was a swift action, or bonus
Mhm.
action, however you want to call it, I'm going to keep moving.
Mhm.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Amelia.
Amelia is going to attack this imp.
Are you close enough to me?
Yeah.
I've got a good couple rounds on you.
Oh, that's true. How far ahead are they? Or are we
If
just
you-
gonna
if
go with
you- Well, first of all, what's the range on your attacks?
that's a good question.
Far.
Yeah, because I think that even if she's moved a couple of places, you can probably still hit them.
Isn't it like something crazy, like 150 feet or something?
Yeah, it's almost like a
Cantrips?
bow. Yeah, cantrips. I mean, it's almost like a bow. Like bows have crazy distance when you're considering these ranges. So I'd say at the very least,
60
you could.
feet.
Oh yeah, so you could definitely move at least 30 feet and be close enough to hit. So
Great. So she's gonna move 30 feet. We're gonna imagine her moving 30
Yep.
feet because we don't have that much left on the map.
Sorry.
I don't think I've ever had this problem before where people are just trying to move off the map.
You're gonna have to get used to that.
Yep, I'm fine with it. I will. I'll adjust in the future.
All right. So.
We're gonna make it like Pac-Man. Miri starts coming up behind everyone.
Oh God. All right, I
that
rolled
is
a
a hit.
19.
That is a hit. And which one are you aiming at?
I'm aiming at this one.
Okay.
So the one not in melee with the pocket dragon.
The dragon, right?
Pocket dragon. And for 1.
That's what he is. He's a pocket dragon.
All right. So he takes a point of damage. All right. Yeah, the Imps can see the writing on the wall. They are heavily outnumbered now. They've seen 2 of their colleagues slaughtered. One of them cut in half, actually. The other one pinned to a staircase.
One of them is really not feeling good.
They
stay home
are
today.
flying away. They are headed up and out. One the house drake is going to get an attack roll on one of them, the second one. Mwiri, you have an attack of opportunity if you choose to take it.
Nope.
Okay, so the second one, that is a natural 20.
Nice.
Okay, and believe it or not, this is a named creature. So, oh my
Holy
god!
shit!
So I don't actually have a rule for like if you roll 2 20s in a row, it's just considered a confirmed crit. But I am open to suggestions if you, or hey, if our viewers have a neat idea, we might consider it.
No. Squee,
What?
I have an idea. So you
Uh-huh.
know how in 3 Galaxies and shit, there's the legendary crits and fails? I think this should be our legendary crits and fails. 2 20s or 2 1s.
Okay, I'm fine with that. So we'll do what the card. We'll still go with what the card is, but whatever the effect is, it's magnified to almost a legendary status. I like that idea. Is everyone in favor for that? In case you don't know, because if you don't watch our 3 Galaxies, in Rifts you use percentage dice a lot. You roll D100s, and in that game, if someone rolls 100 or a 1, they either have a legendary success or a legendary fail, which is basically they succeed or fail so spectacularly that it would be talked about for ages if other people saw it. That kind of thing, or it gives them some other bonus or something of that nature. So I'm gonna just deal a card to me to see what the critical is first, and then I'll see where we go from there. So it is it's a biting attack, so I guess that would be slashing. No, piercing. It'd be piercing. Forearm piercing, double damage, and target is disarmed. Okay.
Well, it doesn't. Well, can we say disarmed like it no longer has an arm?
So hang on, give me a second here.
This thing is automatically drawn and quartered
Yeah.
mid-air by a
Yeah.
dragon.
So actually, that's what I was thinking. So the house drake lunges for it as it flies away and gets behind it, and with its arms and legs grasps each limb of the imp and pulls. And with a roar, pulls so hard that it literally quarters the imp, and the torso falls to the ground.
Wow.
Otto says, "Show off."
And with that, the other one is flying away back up into the melee. You all, I'm going to kind of suspend initiative for a moment, saying that you all have one chance to attack it with a ranged attack if you choose before it becomes lost in the quickly dispelling melee up above you.
No.
Is this the one that's been shot a couple times already, or not?
Yes, it has been.
Oh.
I think Arlen's just gonna let it go because then it would be an unfair fight as well on the other side. So she's not gonna shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste a spell on it.
Okay.
It can tell its brethren our tale.
Yeah. I think he's pretty petrified seeing his friend being quartered.
What if he goes and gets his brethren and comes for us with like 15 imps?
Then we
Well.
go inside a house.
You can actually tell also above you that the house drakes are winning the attack. Not like it's not a completely one-sided battle, but to the point where they are moving the fight off. The imps are starting to fly away. The drakes are obviously beginning to push the battle, and the skies up above you are actually starting to clear up.
Oh, good.
So one of the imps flies away. The rest are dead. And with that, as the imp flies away, the house drake flings down the limbs onto the road, and then flies over to a barrel near where he is, and kind of alights atop of it, and looks at Miri silently, and then to the rest of you. Are the rest of you like approaching, or are you staying where you are?
Amelia's hurriedly coming up to Mary, and she's gonna ask, "Are you all right? Did they get you?"
I'm fine.
Otto would be approaching.
And Amelia, you can roll me a perception check, please.
Oh god. I feel like that's one of my worst attributes in
I know.
all of my in all of my
Everyone, the other Otto and Arlen, if you're coming up too, you're more than welcome to also roll a perception check.
Could I aid?
Not really.
yes,
No, this is perception's a passive thing. So
Sorry. Okay.
yeah, at least this one is.
So yeah, I rolled a 7.
Okay, a 7.
Arlen rolls a 21.
And Spiral an 18. All right. Otto and Arlen, you can tell that despite what Mary's saying, she has less than half her normal hit points. She is actually damaged pretty badly. She's bleeding from under her armor.
Give me 1 second. So I'm going to offer Mori a pot of Cure Light Wounds.
we will politely decline.
Okay. Is there anything we can do to help you, Mori?
We can get where we're going so I can sit down.
All of you hear inside your minds, wait a moment, please. Allow me to repay you for your kindness. And you can all instinctively tell this is the house drake as it is staring at all of you. And it says, my name is Majenko, and I fear I would be dead if not for you. And with that, it casts Cure Light Wounds on Miri. And it doesn't actually speak. Most of the times, those spellcasters out there, most spells are, spoken. But house drakes, they no speak. 2 points. 2 whole points. Solid.
It brought me
healing
back
right
up
there.
to double digits.
Yeah. And Majenko, then the words again form in your mind. I do not know how else I could repay you, but I must. Is there some way I can aid you? My kind, we know many things, go many places. Perhaps there is something I can do for you? Something to repay my debt.
Kindness costs nothing and requires no payment.
There's a pause as it stares at you, and it's very easy to tell. This is obviously an intelligent creature, despite its size and its beast-like appearance. And after a few moments, the words form in your mind. My people are a very proud people. When we have a debt, we pay it. Please, if not for a kindness to you, a kindness to me, allow me to help you in some way.
Arlen will speak up and says, you said that you and your kind know a lot about the city and the area. Do you know people? Would you have any specific news of the Gadrian Lamb? Or
there's a pause, and then the words form in your minds. I do not know names as such, but I can be very good at finding information. We, drakes, can go many places and are seen but not observed. If there is someone you wish to find within the city, I can attempt to do so.
Out of character, what was the name of the one person that we're supposed to be looking for as well?
Isn't it Javargo?
Devargo. You're close.
Devargo.
Devargo.
Yeah, but we know where he
Devargo.
is.
Do we?
Yeah, he's in Eel's End.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But you don't know much other than that. You don't know much about what Eel's End even is, or
That
Do we
was going to
have,
be my
like,
next.
a physical description of him?
no. You know who he is and where he is, but none of you have. You've heard of Eel's End, but it's not a place that any of you really frequent, so you don't know much about it,
So,
or even
that was
him.
going to be Arlen's next question is, do you know of Devargo or the Eels Inn?
Eel's End. I have heard of this place spoken much. I know where it is. Yes. Is there someone or something there that you need to locate?
I
need-
would ask this. I would ask that you allow us to think on it. This is a heavy thing to know.
It looks at Weary, and then the words form in your head again. And then there's a pause as it kind of like looks again at each of you. I can do as you ask, but I fear that you are simply trying to avoid me repaying my debt to you. If there is something,
If you require a task, I have one for you.
speak.
My eyes can only be in one place at once. It would be helpful if I could have eyes in other places. Once the wrong sort of eyes turned on my home, and it was destroyed. If I could have someone else looking upon it, I would feel better.
Again, there is a pause as it considers and turns its head to stare at you with one eye, and then the words form in your mind. I am sorry, but I am grateful that you saved my life, but I am not willing to. Such a request would require a constant vigil. I have my own life to live.
I understand this. I ask only that you do this once. Perhaps go and then come back.
It looks again to the rest and says, "Is this agreeable?"
I suppose Mary is the one who really saved you, so it would be her request.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, Arlen agrees. You know, Wary's the one that took the most damage, so it's her choice.
It nods, and then the words again form in your minds. Then I will do as you ask. What specifically do you need from me?
Out of character, what she's kind of looking for is someone to
A
just...
flyby?
Yeah, because this big thing just happened, this big fight between Imps and Half-Drakes, and she wants to make sure that nothing was damaged and that all of the kids are safe and that nobody perhaps used that as cover to get into the orphanage who wasn't supposed to be there.
Okay. We'll say Murray kind of expresses that, and the Drake says, "I will check upon this orphanage, and then, if all is well, I will consider my task completed. If not, I will do what I can to protect it."
I thank you. Go in peace.
It nods, and then it flaps its wings once, and it says, "I am grateful for what you did, and then flaps its wings and flies away. And with
Well, we
that,
should get going.
the street is quiet again. People haven't returned yet, but the skies above you have cleared. So it's after the din of battle. It's strangely quiet.
So Arlen says, "Okay, so to the guard place, wherever."
Yeah, I think we're all gonna Moira kind of dusts herself off and heads off that way, anyways. So I think we're all collectively just kind of heading that way.
Yep.
Okay. Citadel Volshnik.
Yeah, the Citadel.
Okay. All right. So you guys continue the rest of your journey unmolested.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
No surprise land sharks or anything. You make it to the gates of Citadel Volshnik. For those of you who have not been here before, the Citadel is overlooking the Jaeger Harbor. It's actually a fairly very well defended area, thus being a citadel. However, much like when you were here before, Otto, it does seem to be operating under a skeleton crew. You approach the gate. The gate is open. However, the same two guards from this morning are still there. And as you approach, one of them holds up a hand and says, "Halt! State your business."
I'm looking for a nobleman named Jim.
I believe then you're in the wrong place, sir. This is Citadel Volshnik, the headquarters for the Corvosa Guard.
I think we're here to see Cressida Croft. We were sent by the Queen to assist.
The
Cressida.
Field Marshal.
Yes.
Yes, we heard word of your coming. Please, pass through, go straight through the doors, past the courtyard to the last room at the end.
Okay.
And they stand to the side, and you're ushered in. You can see, much like when you were here this morning, the Citadel seems to be operating on a skeleton crew. There seems to be far fewer guards than you would expect to find in the headquarters of the Corvosan Guard. The guards wave your party through, one of them escorting you into the central keep. Not aggressively or anything, just kind of there more as a guide than anything else, guiding you through the courtyard. And into a room where you see Cressida sitting behind a desk. She raises up from the desk when you walk into the room, and you can see that it looks like she has not slept in quite some time. She looks exhausted, but she bears it well. In other words, you can tell there's rings under her eyes. You can tell the physical signs of exhaustion, but the way she carries herself, the way she moves, is as if she was fully rested. She's able to bear the exhaustion well. And as you enter the room, she says, "Well, I heard the Queen was sending you over. I did not expect to see you so soon. Well met again. Please, have a seat." And she motions to the seats in front of her desk.
Moira very happily takes a seat, and you hear her grumbling about, "Oh, is that all you heard?"
Yes, that was all I heard. Why?
Amelia kind of avoids looking at Arlen and Otto and sits down. Kind of pointedly looking away from them.
Otto obliviously just looking around the room.
Right.
And Arlen's kind of looking from Wary to Cressida like, I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Moira waves a hand. "It's not my story to tell. How can we help you, Chad?"
She looks at Weary and raises an eyebrow. And she sits down and crosses her fingers in front of her. And she says, yes, first things first. You are fairly new to Corvosa, yes? You, I believe, said you've been here several years. And she's looking at Muri.
That is correct.
Then allow me to give you a piece of advice. I am Cressida Croft, the Field Marshal of the Corvosan Guard. I am not a child. And to call an adult, especially here in Corvosa, where we're very proud, a child would be seen by most as an insult, as you would be suggesting they are not capable of being treated as an adult and that you see yourself above them.
She kind of thinks about this for a minute and very slowly says, I see.
Cressida nods and she says, good. Then Field Marshal or Cressida will be fine. And then she looks to the rest of you. I see you have one I have not met. Your name, sir?
Otto points to the anvil pendant that he's wearing.
She kind of raises an eyebrow again, but looks at it and says, Otto? Well, Otto, pleasure to meet you. To business, then. I know why the Queen has sent you, and the truth of the matter is, I'm grateful. You've been on the streets. You know as well as I do how bad things are out there.
We just had to take apart 4 imps. You're telling me.
I had just heard. I did not know you were involved in that. Then what I say is doubly true. The truth of the matter is, and her just for a second, like a split second, her face shows the weariness that she normally is concealing. She says, it breaks my heart to see Corvosa tearing itself apart like this. Every little bit of aid we can get from people, citizens like yourselves, helps. If you're willing, I'd very much like to retain your services as agents of the Guard. And you will, of course, be well compensated for these services. Not just in gold, but in methods I think you might find more pertinent to your particular situation. Do you agree to hear me out, at least?
No harm in listening.
Of course.
Amelia nods.
I require no payment.
I see. Well, payment you shall have nonetheless, if for no other reason than we do not have people work for us without compensation. But the type of payment I am truly offering to you is of a different kind.
I do not understand.
Resources.
Information,
Okay.
privilege.
Allow me to explain. You mentioned Dervago and Eel's End, that this is a person that you are seeking for hopes of finding this Gadrian lamb.
That's correct.
I have many friends. One in particular, a nobleman, who may be able to help with this. Dervago is a very dangerous individual. If you simply go in there unprepared, you might find yourself dead, or worse. If you work with us, then in return, I will get you in touch with my friend who will be able to help you in your matters of finding Gadrian lamb, in addition to any other compensation.
Okay.
She nods and then continues. First, I need your help. Corvosa has enough troubles as it is, without my own guards losing their way. Many have deserted their posts, more concerned about friends and family than the city, and while I can understand this, not all of them have family. Some of them are simply using the riots that are breaking out as an excuse for cowardice or for personal gain. One such man is Varric van Castrican. Worse than a lone deserter, he's convinced a small group of my fellow guards that Queen Eosa is going to ruin the city. Whether she does or doesn't isn't the point. Right now, we've got a citywide crisis on our hands, and I need all of my guards working with me to see us through. A deserter is worse than a lost resource. It's an infection. I can't afford to pull any of my other patrols off duty to deal with Van Castrican. They are already doing everything they can to keep riots from destroying citizens and homes. And I'd rather not expose any of them to him anyway, since I don't want Van Castrican to infect more guards with this talk of secession, nor do I want some overly patriotic guard killing Van Castrican outright. I need impartial, skilled talent. Talent like you.
Do you want him killed?
No. That might make things worse. Though, she pauses. The worst thing would be to do nothing. Van Castrican and his followers have holed up in an abandoned butcher's shop in Northgate, a place once called All the World's Meat. I need you there. Try to avoid killing any of the deserters if you can, as that might make things complicated. But if you must, they brought it upon themselves when they threw in with their lot with Van Castrican. I'd really prefer it if you could capture Van Castrican alive and return him to me for interrogation, but if he makes that impossible, if he pushes your hand, I will accept his body as well. Finally, if you can find out why Varric deserted, if there's more to it than simple personal politics, I need to know immediately. Bring me Varric alive, and there's 500 gold in it for you. Dead, half that, in addition to what we already talked about.
Very well.
Do you know him personally?
No. I've met him, of course. I make a point of meeting all my new recruits, but to say that I know them all is an exaggeration. I know of him. He was fairly upstanding. He rose through the ranks quickly, but he was also, well, in my impression of him, selfish and shallow. A good soldier, but not a soldier that one would call a patriot or strong-willed, I suppose is the word I would use. Needless to say, while I am surprised he went so far as to desert, I am less surprised than with many of my soldiers.
How long had he been a member of the guard?
Only a few years, which makes the fact that he had risen up to sergeant fairly impressive.
Did he have help?
Help in what way?
You said he... Sorry.
I don't mean to imply anything, but some people will use friendships to their advantage. He might have...
I see. As in help raising through the ranks.
Yes.
Especially because you said he didn't seem very ambitious.
No, quite the opposite, actually. I said he seemed very selfish. He's always been very opportunistic.
Sorry.
No, that is perfectly fine. We are all dealing with a lot right now. It is possible I unfortunately do not have the kind of time that would be required to oversee every promotion. I more leave that to my underlings and trust them. Though to say that the Corvosan Guard is without any sort of corruption at all, I'm sure would be foolish of me. Though it would not necessarily be necessary. As I said, he is a very opportunistic individual, and he performed his duty by the book.
So the only information we have about his motive is that he, claims that he thinks that the Queen is going to destroy the city or, do a bad job, more or less.
That is all I've heard, but I don't believe it for a second, or at least I don't believe that's the only reason.
Yeah, it sounds like, something that you just latched onto so that you can make your own power grab, right? And that's what you've got in mind.
Yes,
Um,
but
any idea where he recruits? Like, how is he, getting more people to join him?
as far as I know, there were only 4 or 5 others, and they left with him from our guard. But what makes it complicated, what makes it confusing for me, is as selfish and opportunistic as Van Casterkin may be, what they're doing strikes me as odd.
And that
They have
is?
they've set up shop in all the world's meat, and they are passing out free meat to the citizens, mostly the impoverished.
Makes sense. Get the plebs on your
Okay.
side.
I suppose.
Odd, he's only got 5 guys with him, though. That seems a bit light.
Cressida, kind of tilts her chin up a little bit and says, most of my guards would never stoop to such levels.
Sure, but he could get people other than guards, right? I'm sure
Perhaps.
there's more people in the city that'd be willing to take up a sword because they don't like the Queen.
That may be true. So perhaps there is another reason he is not.
Is that all he's been doing, is handing out meat?
She kind of sighs. As far as I know, besides spreading sedition, but the simple fact that he does it is bad enough. Every day that he remains deserted and remains in the public eye is another day that people see the Corvosan Guard fractured. In times like this, that can spell disaster.
We're going to look like a band of villains going in and taking out a guy who's giving out free meat to the poor.
If he dies, he becomes a martyr.
Perhaps.
She not.
Perhaps we can investigate more and try to find out what's going on more instead of going in swinging maces and shooting arrows. Maybe we can try to be a little bit more diplomatic.
You begin to see why I need you. Even if I did send guard to settle this matter, what would that look like?
Mm-hmm.
I will leave how you do it to you. If you'll excuse me, I have many other duties to see to. And I ask again, when you finish, however this ends, come back, and I will do everything I can to help you in your matters.
I think that's definitely an offer I will take you up on.
She nods. If you need it, you are welcome to use the bunks here within the Citadel, as long as you are on retainer with us. Though, from what I've seen, you have other places of residence that you might find more preferable. Just know that it is always available to you.
And likewise, our door is always open.
She nods.
Especially if, you get cold and need somebody to help keep you warm.
She pauses for a second, pointedly not staring at Arlen. And then she continues. And I have failed to pass on the fact of the orphans for the time being, but I cannot do so forever. the sooner you meet the requirements, the better.
Understood. It should be taken care of soon, shouldn't it?
Yeah, didn't we hire some people? Or are we just thinking about hiring some people? Forget how that all got worked out.
Out of character. No, yeah, you made a deal with Tim Ronian using Teresa's gold and agreeing to be guinea pig. He's going to get a high-level priest to cast a spell to summon a guardian.
Mm-hmm.
When is that supposed to take place?
He said he would be working on it today. So while you're not sure, it could be taking place as you speak.
Okay.
And with that, she says, if there will be nothing else, please, the guards will show you out.
Of course. Be well.
You as well. And do be careful.
Get some rest.
Maybe when the crisis is over.
Girl's got to get her beauty sleep.
Perhaps before then. At this pace, it could. Well.
She shakes her head. Oh, fear not for me. I have regular visits from one of the priests of Abadar, casting regeneration spells on me. I will be fine. And with that, she will go back to her work, and one of the guards will usher you guys out of the Citadel.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so Van Casterkin is in North Point, which is towards the top of the map. It is, hang on, if you guys go up to the side, it is this area over here. Mm-hmm. Let me see if I can find out exactly where all the worlds meet is. All the worlds meet. Give me a second.
That
So
he's just giving away.
I have a diplomatic idea. I know it's out of character craziness, but I have an idea.
Yeah, I do too.
I have disguised self, and I could disguise myself as a guard. Tell them I want to join up, and tell them that you guys were, had similar feelings about the queen and also wanted to join, which would get us inside, so we'd be able to talk to the guy without any conflict at all.
My suggestion would be a slight tweak on that. First, Otto disguises himself as a homeless person, which shouldn't be too hard. Ha ha! And be like, hey, I heard you're giving out meat, and then gauge them from that, and then return as a guard, if it should so work to our advantage.
I get it, because he was homeless once.
He's probably more likely to give away information about the operation to peers or subordinates than just random homeless dudes. But I could be wrong about that.
Well, you never know, because they're literally handing out food, whole things of meat to the poor and the homeless. They could easily be looking for a sympathetic ear. And so if they're just like, if they happen to divulge some of their plans.
Well, the sympathetic ear would be you'd get their propaganda, not the actual story.
Well, you can find out what the propaganda is and then find out what the real story is and then compare and contrast.
Yeah, okay.
And I mean, with the Otto, you have the advantage of you can go and see them and find out what you can either way, and they wouldn't remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So first things first. Do you guys want to start with that? I heard someone mention they want to perhaps ask around, investigate a little bit, see, get more information on what's going on. What step do you guys want to take first?
Murray wants to go home.
Got it.
I'm down 9 hit points, dude.
I understand. So you guys want to call it a day and then start out fresh in the morning?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to take a rest and then ask around first. Be like, hey, I heard about this thing going on. Do you know what's going on with that? And then we can proceed.
Well, how about on the way home, Otto just does the homeless thing on the way by, and then we can get to the house, take a rest,
and then we can have
ask in the morning.
food. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'd get. I dig it.
Yeah, and we get free food. Sweet. Meat.
Oh, don't talk to me about that.
Otto's all about the meat.
Meat.
Should any of us go with them? How are the rest of us fitting into this plan? Because they will forget about you, Otto, but they wouldn't forget about other people.
I think it's best if you're not seen with me at all.
Yeah,
If
I'm
I'm gonna
going
try and
home.
pass
I'm
you
going
off as like
straight
recruits
home.
later on.
Okay. Yes.
So they would have given you the actual address, which is 22nd Sturge Street.
Okay.
Which, if you look at North Point, you'll see
Sorry. Keep going. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm a bad person.
you'll see a small green square around it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
That's Sturge Street. Okay, so right now it's about around 10 in the morning you went to go see Timronian, then you went to go see the Queen, then you had yourself a scuffle with some incompetent imps, and then you went to go see Cressida and walk around. I'd say it's probably around 4 in the afternoon at this point.
Before I go, you guys,
Mhm.
you gotta prep me. What questions am I asking here? I'm not good at this. Seriously. Give me some ideas. What am I asking these guys if I come up as a homeless person? In character,
Why are
Otto is
they-
asking because
Well, just kind of like a general, like this, I appreciate you doing this, but I have to wonder why, and that sort of thing. Just like, not giving them the third degree, but just sort of like curiosity mixed with appreciation.
Here we go. Offer them payment for it and have them give you a reason why they don't want it.
Or either money or also offer to assist, do odd jobs, odd tasks around in the area.
I don't do charity, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
okay.
Also, Amelia will be, she won't be like with you, but she'll be nearby, keeping an eye out.
Okay.
Because nothing says innocuous like face paint.
Look, man, the thing about that is, shut up. So there.
Wait, the owl's talking
but yeah,
about innocuous?
She will be going over with her hood up and her scarf pulled up as well. So she's just going to be a gray figure in the crowd.
Just a regular old Jedi, nothing to see here.
Bring a beer, then you'll really fit in.
This is not the elf you're looking for.
Yeah. Arlen's gonna just go back and do some work in her lab.
Okay. So Miri is headed home. Amelia is going to hang nearby, or are you actually going into the store with Otto?
No, she's gonna hang nearby, keep an
Got
eye
it.
out.
Okay. And Arlen is going back to her attic where she sings opera. And
Oh, also, just in case something goes horribly wrong, I think we should have a signal. I have no idea what that signal should be, but I think there should be one. Because plans can go wrong very easily.
I will
It's true.
cast light on my mace. If
well,
I'm in
considering
trouble. Or my
considering
shield
that
is
you're
on.
going to be inside a store and she will be outside of the store, it will have to be a doozy of a signal.
It would need to be something a little louder than a glowing mace, perhaps. Maybe a glowing mace through the walls. Who knows?
Does anybody have like the cantrip message or anything like that?
If you hear Backstreet Boys start playing, I'm in shit.
Oh god.
I mean, other than just yelling
no,
something, I don't really
thought
have
about
anything.
that, but I didn't actually get it, so maybe I'll have to get that cantrip next time. Ugh.
Okay. Well, that is a cantrip, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
believe so.
I thought it was.
All right.
Okay.
You know, every
Uh,
time I hear you say that, I think dun, 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 and it just
Yeah.
really throws me off.
And you can just replace that with TPK, TPK. That's really what circles in my head the whole session. How am I going to slaughter everyone?
Really, because you
Which-
said imps and they just did a fucking
Yeah,
fantastic job.
Well, okay, first things first. If I learn to roll better, you guys succeeded every single fortitude check of the many fortitude checks you had to make.
Yeah, these were kind of some weak ass imps. You're
And-
gonna have to.
and I'll
buff
let you
them a
know.
little bit.
I'll let you know, you didn't want to fail those.
No. No.
All right. Give me 1 second. Sorry, just reading something here. All right. So, Arlen, Mwiri, we will get with you guys if you need to, but for the time being, we're going to concentrate on Otto and Amelia, since, as I said, Mwiri, you're headed home. Mwiri, when you head home, real quick, as you get there, you will find that. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and address that, because that is something to note. Mwiri, when you arrive at your home, you see sitting out front is Timronian in his typical flared robes and flamboyant dress. And the house that was more ruins than anything has been, at least from the outside, totally rebuilt. And rebuilt to the point where it doesn't stand out at first glance. You know, it's not like it looks like a mansion surrounded by hovels or anything. But as you approach it, even though it looks much like it used to before and like the other houses around it, the craftsmanship is immaculate. The stones are fitted in together perfectly. The structure, the foundation, everything seems as if it was built by maybe by dwarves or some sort of master mason. And from the outside, it looks very, very similar to how it used to look, to the point where it invokes nostalgia within you. And as he sees you, Timronian removes a pipe from his mouth and goes, "Ah! Hello. It's nice to see you back. Where's your friends?"
They have their own tasks to attend to, I'm sure.
Ah, I see. Well, as you can clearly see, I was able to procure the services of a priest who was able to set about work today, actually, and completed it in, just a few hours. I was out here waiting for you to return, simply in case you had any questions or needed explanation. I understand that to some that are less inclined to the magic, coming home to such a drastic change might invoke all kinds of emotions.
I am no stranger to divine magics. Are the children inside?
Yes, very energetic little scamps they are. I believe Triana is in there watching after them now, and that little tiny goblin fellow.
Yes, I suppose I should count him among children. Would you care for tea?
No, thank you very much, my dear, but I've been away from the bazaar for far too long. Who knows what kind of trouble Sammy's gotten into. Have you, by chance, had a time to test out any of my artifacts?
Is that what they are?
Well, I mean, I suppose you could call them other things if you choose, but I like to think of them as such.
I personally have not.
Ah, that means by chance others have.
If they have not informed me.
Oh,
You may wish to speak with them first.
oh well, no matter, no matter. Just whatever you do, be sure to take notes if you could, mentally or preferably on paper, of how it makes you feel, side effects, positive, I hope, etc., etc. But with that, my dear, I'm afraid I must leave you. But I think you'll be quite satisfied with the results. And with that, I bid you a good day, madam.
I thank you for your service. This will not be forgotten.
You're not. I should hope not. I could always use such esteemed clientele as yourself. And with that, he sticks the pipe in his mouth and begins humming a merry tune as he walks down the road back towards the bazaar.
We're just going to take a minute just to look at her house.
It is, the more you study it, the more uncanny it is how much it looks like it used to, with the exception of it's much better built this time than it was before. Even to the point of, you remember there was a drafty wall over here, and man, there was that crack in the roof that you just never got around to fixing over there. All of that's gone. And it's been built in such a way that it's very difficult to tell where the old house stops and the new part of the house begins. It's seamlessly binded together.
Well, let's go inside, shall we?
All right. You walk inside, and the second you open the door, you're greeted by the sound of lots of laughter. And you see the kids are sitting, all of them sitting in what is now a living room, a large room outside of the kitchen, outside of the dining room, that has just a wide open space in front of what used to be a fire, or what is a fireplace. This is exactly as it used to be. And in the middle, the center of it, is you can see Flack dancing from toe to toe, telling some sort of ridiculous story that you're not even sure the kids understand. But they seem to enjoy, if nothing else, his physical antics, as his floppy ears are waving around to and fro. The inside of the house looks exactly like it used to, except everything looks new. The counters look like they were freshly installed. The tables and chairs that were destroyed in the fire have been returned. The stairs leading up no longer have creaky steps or cracked steps. It is, on the inside especially, as if you just purchased a newly built house. But this was your home for a long time, and you knew it very well. It is uncanny how it is almost as if someone made an exact copy. Every stair looks the same. Every table looks as it used to. It is very clear to you, with your experience, that there must have been a divine hand in this to get it so perfect the way it used to be.
She's just kind of gonna quietly drift over to the table and just kind of sit down for a minute.
You will hear a soft voice beside you. It looks marvelous, doesn't it? As Triana kind of leans in, quietly speaking to not interrupt Flack's storytelling.
As it used to.
Oh, Mary, you should have seen it. An angel, that's the only thing I could say to describe it, appeared at that priest's call, and made all of this. I don't think I'll ever forget it. The sight, the wonder. If you ask me, it was money well spent.
It must have been a spectacle.
It was. I wish you could have seen it. Do you need any food? I made something.
Oh?
Well, I tried to make something. You'll see the kitchen, there's a lot of dirty dishes, but the smell coming from it's not entirely unpleasant.
We shall see what you made then.
And with that, is it okay to move on to others?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Arlen, real quick, you go back to your lab and you do stuff.
Yes.
Are you keeping that to yourself for now, or?
Yeah, for now,
Okay.
I am.
All right. You do stuff. You freak out the people underneath you.
Yes, make lots of noise, stomping
Jackhammers
around.
and stuff.
I
What's going
occasionally
on
rattle
there?
chains.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, Arlen like purposely puts on like chain shackles when she walks around up there just to make noise.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, we're gonna move over to Amelia and Otto as you make your way to 22nd. Oh, whoa, excuse me. 22nd Sturge Street.
Sounds like a fantastic place.
Indeed. As you get close, you see that as evening is approaching and the sun starts to get low on the horizon, the streets are starting to clear up. People are going into their homes for the day, and as you get onto Sturge Street and see all the worlds meet, you see a sign that bears the image of a fat, smiling cow. It hangs above the door to the shop. The building itself looks as if it's in some disrepair. Nothing horrible, but certainly hasn't been well maintained for the past year or two. There are a few people that mill past it, but there doesn't seem to be a crowd or many people at all at this time of day.
To Otto, Amelia looks kind of around and then goes, She mentioned that this was abandoned, yes?
Yes. The word abandoned was used.
I wonder for how long. The meats couldn't have stayed well for quite some time, would it?
No, I'm assuming that they've acquired a new supplier. Perhaps they've got some help amongst the some other townsfolk that are aiding them. That would actually be something to ask around about tomorrow. Or I could ask these guys while I'm in there, but something tells me they're not going to tell me where they got their meat from. Guess we'll see.
Well, it won't hurt you to ask. You can always ask again.
That's true.
All right, so Otto, you said you were going to disguise yourself. How exactly do you want to go about doing this?
I have a spell called Disguise Self.
There you go. Fair enough. Alrighty then.
So,
Ta-da!
and it's you can read the description if you want. Clothing,
Sure,
armor,
you make-
weapons, equipment all look different. Foot taller, foot shorter, thin, fat. Have to say still be human, but otherwise it looks like you could,
So it's
pull off
almost like
being
casting I see. So it's almost like casting an illusion to make yourself look completely different if you choose to.
Yep. It doesn't
Okay.
feel different though, so I can't have sex with anybody or anything like that.
I see. So, and it says you can appear as another subtype, which means that, like, for example,
No, it
you
says,
could appear.
does it say
Yeah,
that?
you can't change your creature type, although you can appear as another subtype. Now, I read that personally to be like, you could make yourself look like a half elf or maybe a half orc, basically something that's like a half human. That has the same basic structure. You couldn't make yourself look like a dragonborn or a Kindle or something.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Then I think I would still just be a human because I think that would be the least conspicuous and just, homeless and shaggy and raggedy.
Okay. All right. And then are you just going to go straight in? There's no one outside front. There's a few people that mill past, but the door is open. However, you don't see anyone outside of the building.
Oh, the door's open.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nobody around.
I mean, that's not true. There's like 2 or 3 people that were walking past it, but there's no one that's like approaching the building or leaving from the building or anything like that.
And nobody, around eating meat.
Nope. No one around eating meat.
All right. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
You're not there.
I can still wish him luck.
I was talking
Arlen
to
looks
Amelia.
up from her work. Arlen looks up from her work all of a sudden going, good luck, Otto.
It's like an Empire when she knew that Luke Skywalker was hanging from that post, She's like, we have to go back.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So you enter the shop. Amelia, where are you hanging out?
That's why she didn't say good luck, because she's AFK.
Oh, okay. Well, then fair enough. We'll
I
just
guess.
move on. So.
Oh, it's dark in here. Oh, okay, I see.
There is a spot that you can see. You'll have to just kind of.
Oh, I feel like I'm playing Gauntlet. This is awesome.
Give me a second here. Let me
Look at those models.
pull your character over, just in case you need him for whatever reason. I don't know why I just got properly British.
Just before I walk into the door,
Mm-hmm.
I cast also guidance and enhanced diplomacy on myself.
Got it.
Both
Guidance
last a
is a
minute.
+1. Enhanced diplomacy is a +2. Is there a time limit or just until you use
1
that
minute.
skill? 1 minute. Got it. Okay. So you cast those, and then you walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Inside, a long counter runs over half the room's width, and beyond the counter, there is a door that stands open. A low bench sits against the east wall, which is this bench right here. And then to the north, there's a marble-topped table. That displays a few cuts of meat, though a few flies have begun to circle around this meat. It doesn't look the most fresh, as it looks like it's clearly been out there for several hours. It's not rotted, so it's not been days, but it's clearly been at several hours. Maybe it was put there this morning or somewhere around there. It's starting to not look the best.
I would like to, before engaging the people,
Mhm.
see if I can identify what kind of meat, if it actually is cow or, say, person.
Do you have a cooking skill?
No.
All right, then you're welcome to try and roll. No, that's not something that can be rolled on train. I mean, like, basically, if you don't have a skill in telling what meat looks like, there's really no chance you could look at meat and tell what animal it comes from. Do you have a hunting skill?
I have a heal skill. Certainly that would come with some kind of anatomy.
Yes, but I don't think a heal skill would be able to tell what muscle type this is versus that.
Okay.
In other words, I think I could put a cut of lamb and a cut of beef in front of a doctor, and their doctor skills probably wouldn't help much to tell which is which. So I just don't think that's something that could be rolled unskilled.
Okay.
All right. In the room, there are 2 men there. One is tall with bushy eyebrows that merge just above his very large, very flat nose, which is this guy right here. And the other man, the one by the bench, he's a bit wheezy. He's not a big man, but you can kind of tell, like, he breathes through his nose, and it kind of makes that sound when he breathes.
Man, we didn't get a description of this Varric guy, did we?
No.
Mm-mm.
What a bunch of noobs. All right.
As you walk in, the one on the bench, the kind of wheezy one, stands up and looks you over and says, "No more meat today. Meat's given out in the morning. You'll have to come back then."
Alms for the poor.
As
Please.
I just said, we got no more meat for you for the day.
Oh, but I'm so hungry. Um, why can't you give meat out at night? Looks like you have plenty here.
The one behind the counter goes, "You don't want that one. That meat's just for display. It's not good to eat. I mean, you could try it if you like, but we don't hand that out because it's too old. No, our meat is fresh, but it's only handed out in the morning because, well, there's so many people out there starving that they get it all fast and quick. You're too slow, old man."
Fresh, is it? Where do you go about acquiring fresh meat? Use my guidance and my enhanced diplomacy on that one.
Okay. Roll me a diplomacy check, please.
And so this will be +3 on top of whatever. Oh, natural 20 +3. So that's good.
Okay. Give me a second here. As I actually read into that a little bit. Huh. Okay. One of the one behind the counter says, "Well, not that it's any of your business, but I got a cousin outside town owns a ranch. He has plenty of cows and has well, a deal cut out with one of us to offer fresh meat in the city's time of need. After all, that's why we're here, to help you citizens and all that."
A deal, eh? Now, what could convince a rancher to give away his meat for free?
The guy with the bushy eyebrows kind of puts his elbows on the counter. Why? Kindness of our hearts.
Well, I find that hard to believe. I've been homeless for a while here, and I haven't found too many people's hearts to be that kind. You're awfully generous.
The wheezy one looks at his friend. Does he sound unbelieving to you? I think he does, Mulder. Well then, come back tomorrow morning. You'll see just how generous we are. Now, if there's nothing else, we are very busy with a lot of things to do.
I heard a rumor from a friend who actually sent me over here that you guys used to be part of the guard?
Well, I don't see how that's really any of your concern, but yeah, we used to be part of the guard before we realized that they were tearing the city apart. Now, we do what we can to help.
The guard's tearing the city apart. That's an interesting viewpoint. I wonder myself sometimes if that's what's going on. Listen, I'm really tired of being a homeless person. I can be very useful. Do you guys need any help during the daytime? I could come by, maybe clean up.
They both kind of laugh. We don't need the help of a beggar. Just come get your meat and feed yourself.
Well, if you gave me a job, I wouldn't be a beggar.
And the one with the bushy eyebrow says, "Look, if we gave every chap that walked through the door a job, we wouldn't have any jobs to give. As I said, we don't need no help from a dirty beggar. Now get out of here before I start to get upset. You want to come get free meat in the morning? Come get free meat in the morning."
Can I have some of your display meat? Just a piece, please.
He throws his hands up. "Fine. Do what you will. Your funeral. Just get out of here."
Okay, I'd take a chunk of the display meat and
Okay.
wander off, I guess.
All right. You wander back outside. Amelia, you see him walk back outside the door. And as you walk back out, the wheezy fellow that was called Mulder by his companion closes the door behind you.
Okay. Well, Amelia, I didn't get a whole lot out of that. There are suppliers out of town. I should ask about transportation, but they started to get a little bit, antsy about my questioning, so really didn't learn that much. I do have this meat here, which is somewhat they're giving away. Maybe Muri, who's knows more about cooking, will be able to tell us what we're looking at here. They say it's cattle. Who knows?
Does it look edible, GM?
With
It
some
looks a bit
cooking.
old. It looks like it's definitely not a choice cut, and the meat's kind of starting to brown. But yeah, I mean, for two people such as yourselves that have been poor, yeah, it looks edible.
Yeah.
Well, you said that they spoke of their supplier. Did they give any details?
Said it was one of their cousins out of town, and that they cut a deal with him. But I couldn't get any more, as to what the deal was exactly. So, and they did admit to being part of the guard. And one thing they did say was that they thought the guard was tearing a city apart. They didn't seem to have a problem with the queen, which, now I will say they did seem like extremely suspicious, but that does make me wonder about what Cressida hasn't told us. Everybody has their agenda, right?
I suppose so. Politics are, from what I've seen, primarily mind games, and I don't really care for it.
You and me both.
She kind of gives a nervous laugh and then says, "We should get back, get going." And she's going to start heading towards the orphanage.
Agreed. Off we go.
All right. So we'll say that you guys make it back to the orphanage easily enough. You see all the same things that Mary has seen. The place looks brand spanking new. Not brand spanking new. Like I said, it's very I want to be very clear about this. It doesn't look out of place. It doesn't look like a new sparkling house among the others, but it looks very well built.
I'm getting the
with
impression
that-
it basically looks like almost like time's gone backwards, right?
Exactly. That's a very good way to put it. I'm going to run to the little girls' room. So if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves for your next step, I'll be right back.
I'm going to run the little boys' room just because I don't want to meet Al on the way,
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be awkward.
So on the point of Arlen making a device for message or ghost sounds, I would say maybe message, because I was actually thinking about taking that as well, so that way we would have kind of a walkie-talkie system, sort of, kind of. Well,
So
less
you-
walkie-talkie and more cup and string.
Yeah, so message, you can do, it goes both ways. So one person casts it, and it's a certain, what's the radius? 100-foot range?
Yeah, you can do the back and forth, but
Yeah.
that it's only between that one person and another person, so it'd be a
Yeah,
good idea to.
Whoever you're pointing at. So, I mean, we yeah, I don't mind doing it. So that's fine. I just also like the idea of eventually doing ghost sound, because then you can make sounds like from behind people and like make
that's
them
true.
go and leave the room.
Well, since it's going to be a weird device anyways, instead of a spell, could you actually like whip us up some walkie-talkies?
Probably. I mean, I can. You'd have to do. We can ask Squee. I think you have to do use magic device.
Mm-hmm.
So to use it, but we can ask him.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay. So let's ask him when he gets. Let's ask Squee.
I keep calling them
Yeah,
Al.
if we can
Jeez.
make it into like actual walkie-talkies, I think that
Yeah.
would be super useful because that way, no matter how we split the group,
Yep.
God forbid it actually happens, we have a direct line between either pair.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
that would make communication a lot better.
I missed something, but if we're talking about portable communicators, that's awesome in any setting, always.
Yeah. The only
Yeah.
thing is, I think it's 100 feet, so it wouldn't be
Whatever.
that far.
That's still
Yeah.
really, really good. Because like for what just happened, like
Yeah.
everybody could have been listening in and feeding me,
Yeah.
questions if I'm at a loss. It's like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, right? Like they're talking in his ear all the time.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Are you guys making walkie-talkies?
well, that's what we were going to ask you. Can I do that as a cantrip device and make it for other people?
Do you have a cantrip that would do such a thing?
Message?
Yeah,
What's
that's
message
the
do
idea.
exactly?
Message, it's 100 feet. You can whisper messages and receive whispered replies. Those nearby can hear these messages with a DC 25 perception check. You point your finger at each creature you want to send the message. You then whisper. When you whisper, the message is audible to all targeted creatures within range.
Got it. So it's a cantrip, and you want to use it to your weird science to make one?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, to
sure.
make walkie-talkies.
Well, though message is only one way.
No, it's both ways.
Is it both ways?
Mm-hmm.
Does it say that?
Yes, you can whisper messages and receive whispered replies.
Oh, yeah, okay. You just said that.
Mm-hmm.
So that would make you like the sort of the coordinator. The fact that you have to
Mhm.
point at people isn't the most like hidden thing, but I guess you could find ways to cover that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the device, like making walkie-talkies would be.
So yes, here's the thing. You absolutely could, but Otto is right. The only complication with that would be is that they couldn't talk to each other. They could only talk to you, and it would have to be in reply. So you would point to them, say something, they could say something back, and then if you
Yeah.
wanted, say, if Otto did that and you wanted Amelia to know, you would then have to point to Amelia and tell her what Otto just told you.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I mean, you could do that as a cantrip device, sure.
Okay.
And
And
correct
like
me if
how?
correct me if I'm wrong, but none of us can use her weird science devices, right?
No, you
No,
can.
anyone can.
Oh, really?
So here's the deal.
Mhm.
Anyone can use a weird science device if you make a use device check. However, in this particular case, it would be seen as Arlen using it because Arlen would be in this instance
Controlling
the
it.
de facto caster.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
if
I'm just
you would-
thinking if she made 4 of them.
Right. In that case, you could technically use her weird science device. However, she can't make 4 of them because she doesn't have enough slots to make 4. But if she did, you would have to roll a use magic device check.
Well, my point would be that the way I think this would happen, like practically to make this work and fit within the rules and my character, that I would make 4 short-range communication devices, but they would have to be in a direct line of sight. Like I could only tune into one at a time. If that makes sense.
Correct. And it would be more like you could make 1 device and then like 3 receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Like a switchboard.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Cool. Then that's what I'm in the lab doing.
Okay.
And,
Fascinating.
other stuff.
And given that it's a cantrip and cantrips can be used unlimitedly, then yeah, I mean, you could just keep the receivers on you. And as long as she uses up a slot to do it and you're all within that range and she can see you, yeah, there you go. You got yourself some walkie-talkies.
Woo. They're short-range walkie-talkies. But yeah.
Which I want to stress how really useful that is in this kind of world where that's not a common thing. All right. Have you guys discussed your next steps, or is this something that we need to go over?
We haven't really talked about it.
Okay. Okay.
Just planning to head back to the orphanage, and
Right.
that was
So
about as far as we got.
you got to the orphanage. You find what Mary found, and Arlen. How long before are you going to be spending the night at your place, or are you going to go back to the orphanage when you're done?
Yeah, I'll go back to the orphanage when I'm done, but it'll be several hours. Like you
Mhm.
said, it was around 4, right?
Correct.
So yeah, I'll probably get there around like 11 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So
is it
7
safe
hours.
to assume we'd plan in the morning then?
I think that's fairly safe, unless unless anyone has an interaction they want to do that night, we can say that the evening passes, the children go to bed. Mary, you'll find that the dinner Teresa made it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not weary, but it's not bad.
Moira just kind of
Triana, sorry, Triana. I don't know why I was calling Teresa. It's Triana.
Moira just kind of continues to sit at the table. It's like she just like is not paying attention to anything else around her, and she keeps like looking up the stairs.
Got it. Well, so that's so, and then we'll just say that the evening passes fairly uneventfully. The children, there is a bit of a tussle that Amelia or Otto or Triana would have to deal with when the children are picking out their rooms, because there are now rooms for them to sleep in. And Muriel, is it safe to say that it was probably like 2 per room originally?
They had bunk beds, but yeah.
All right. So there was a
If you
small...
really needed to, you could fit 4 in there.
I see what you're saying. So there was a bit of a tussle as some kids were trying to do this or that, but you guys could very easily
Roll
quell that.
initiative.
Yeah, roll initiative. And
anybody need,
Arlen will sneak in
Sorry.
at 11 at night when most people are asleep. Is Muri asleep at 11 or still sitting at the table?
No, she's still sitting at the table.
Right. So,
No.
Arlen, you would sneak in to see Muri. Oh, maybe as if she was waiting up for you, just sitting at the table.
Moira actually does not even acknowledge Arlen coming in.
Arlen, the only things that people that you see is, of course, Muri sitting at the table, and Flack and Toby curled up in the corner.
A real quick question: where is Amelia's mother?
She actually might be the one that actually quelled the resolved the issue, as your mother would be very adept at that, having raised 2 girls by herself. She has her own room. The orphanage would have had room for not staff, because I believe, and Murray, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was originally just run by you, your husband, and your son.
Yes.
But you would have also had rooms for visitors. So she would have taken one of the rooms for visitors.
All right.
Okay.
So basically, there are rooms set aside for each of your characters. They're not very big, but they're comfortable, and they're much better than what most of you were at before, except maybe Arlen with her whole lab thing. So there's a room to each of you that you get to yourselves up on the 2nd floor. 2 of them would be up against the children's room, so you might hear some noises through the walls, but that'd be about it. The rooms themselves are simply furnished. There's a bed, there's a dresser with a mirror, there's a wash basin, and a window to the outside. Oh, and then like a little foot trunk at the bottom of the bed.
Fancy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Otto had himself a pretty nice street corner not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Might give it a run for its money. All right. So do we want to skip ahead to the next morning?
If no one else wants to do an interaction, Amelia would like to speak to her mother, maybe, if she's
Sure.
up.
You would find her up in her room because you would have been there. Like I said, you're not coming in at 11 o'clock at night. So, yeah, you would find her. She'd be sitting quietly on her bed. Oh, no, actually. You would find her in her room sitting on her bed with Triana sitting on a chair on the other side of the room, and they are talking.
Is the door open?
Yes.
Amelia would kind of start to knock, and then she would pause, and then she's gonna try and be sneaky and listen in.
Oh no, you're gonna make me have a conversation with myself.
You don't have to actually roleplay.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
like,
not
let us
falling
keep all
for
these
this.
NPCs. It's your fault.
I'm not falling for this. I'm just gonna
yeah, no,
tell you.
you can just give like a general like
So
talking about the weather or something.
no. So generally, the conversation is awkward, as if they're still not sure of each other or how they should be acting. But it is basically they are sharing details with each other. At the moment that you're listening in, your mother is hesitantly telling about raising you and your sister, talking about what life was like for you and how you were as little girls. When you're listening, she's focusing more on, or at least she's gotten as far as like when you guys were 10 or 11. But it's clear to get the vibe from this conversation is they're catching up, they're learning about each other, they're trying to form basically trying to form the foundation of a relationship. So
they're trying to get those connections to
exactly.
start. Yeah.
So there's that awkward feeling that you would have when you find out that the daughter you gave up for adoption many, many years ago has come back, and you're not sure how they fit into anything. But the effort's being made, and what you're listening to is your mom talking about you and your sister, and how your sister was always a little devil and so outgoing and never did what she was told, and how you were always very quiet and passive aggressive, if not obedient.
That's definitely a word to describe her, yes. Eventually Amelia would knock on the door.
Your mother would look up. Oh, Amelia. And Triana would stand up and blush and go, I was just, we were just,
No,
can't
no,
you-
I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought maybe I could join you two.
oh, should I, Triana goes, should I go? Do you
No,
need to?
no.
Well,
You're part of the family now, right? She says, looking very awkward.
Triana gives you the biggest smile you have seen in a very long time. Very reminiscent of your sister's smiles. Not just in the size of the smile, but again, the features. It is unmistakable that Triana shares, well, you don't know what genetics are, but shares the traits, physical features of your sister and mother. And she grins widely and says, I guess I am. Please, have a seat. And Triana will offer you the seat and then walk over to the other side of the bed and sit down.
Amelia will go and sit down and kind of arrange her skirts and then look down at her hands as she folds them in her lap. Not really sure where to start.
So, your mom was telling me about your childhood. You were very quiet child.
She looks up and nods.
So different from today, right?
Oh boy.
Amelia smiles and shrugs, kind of. Just like, I suppose so. No, I've grown quite the rebellious streak recently, she says.
Your mom raises an eyebrow.
Where is it to influence on you?
Triana kind of hesitates and she goes, I mean, I understand. I was once very shy myself in the orphanage. So many children around, and sometimes it's better to not be noticed. But yeah. So I understand. Though I heard about your sister. She sounded very very lovely. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Her smile drops a little, and Amelia nods and says, "She was wonderful."
I'm sorry. I brought the mood down. Let's change the subject. Those are lovely designs on your face. Why do you draw them?
Amelia pauses and
Your mom
shakes.
looks uncomfortable at that.
Yeah, she kind of shakes her head and goes, "It's just, decorative."
Oh no, you're being far too modest. I'm an artist. I should know. They're absolutely beautiful.
Amelia starts to blush, suddenly very self-conscious.
And your mother goes, yes. Well, that's our Amelia. Very beautiful.
She's now like 10 billion times more self-conscious and starts sinking into her scarf.
Triana will kind of look at that and say, well, I suppose I should probably go see on Flack, make sure that he's not eating us out of house and home. But Amelia, there's a room right across the hall for you if you choose to take it. Or I suppose we could probably drag another bed in here. I really don't know how you two want to have the arrangements, but I should go check on Flack, yeah, and make sure that he's like I said. Right. Well, and she gives like a very warm smile to Amelia. Bye.
Amelia nods to her, not quite able to speak up at this point.
And she leaves and closes the door behind her.
And Amelia immediately puts her head in her hands and says, "Oh, gods."
You there's silence for a bit until you hear that your mother is quietly weeping.
She looks up immediately and goes over to the bed and wraps her arms around her mother and says, "Don't you start again. You know what happens."
I never should have done that to her. How horrible of a parent am I?
Amelia leans her forehead against her mother's shoulder and says, You were barely able to take care of us. You couldn't have. You were practically a child. Don't put such hardships on yourself. You did what you could, and look at her."
Yeah, she's a lot like your sister.
Yeah, she is.
And then I think that well, unless you wouldn't, I mean, maybe you guys hold each other for a while, maybe fall asleep like that.
Yeah.
Your mom and I know you and your mom used to sleep in the same room, but was it more of a just for necessity, like there was nowhere else, or is it something that you two are used to? Like, is Amelia going to get her own room? Is she going to move in there?
She'll probably get her own room. There'd been other housing situations where it had only been one room for her and her sister and her mother, and then there were others where the sisters had their own room and their mother had her own, but it's kind of varied from housing to housing, but it'll be, I think, she would prefer to have her own space.
Got
and
it.
I think her mom would prefer to have hers, especially in such a emotionally weird time.
So I would say that you probably kind of comfort each other for an hour or so, and then make your way to your own bed.
Yes.
All right. Then we can move on to the next morning. We'll fast forward. The sun rises. Mary gets up to make breakfast, or gets
Does
up
she?
from the table. I mean, I like did she ever go to bed?
No.
No.
She's just sitting.
So you got no sleep at all?
No.
All right.
So when Arlen comes in and sees Maury sitting at the table, she kind of goes over to her and says, "Hey, how are you doing?" Tries to start up a conversation with her.
Weary oddly does not respond, and she doesn't respond for such a length of time that it almost seems like she's ignoring you. But as it starts to become like, oh shit, she really is ignoring me. She just kind of quietly says, "It's as if I look hard enough and long enough that they'll be right where I left them." And that all this will be a bad dream.
I know what you mean. I think that's part of the reason why I spend so much time in the lab, is that's the one place I can still feel my brother's presence.
I think I would like to be alone.
All right. If there's anything I can do, or if you want to talk, you know where to find me.
Where he does not respond.
And so Arlen just kind of wanders off.
Okay. And cue the ending credits for Full House.
Hey.
I'll say one more thing before the morning, as Otto can't sleep in his bed and gets up halfway through the night and goes and sleeps outside.
You mean outside the house?
Yeah.
Oh, been so used to sleeping on the street?
That's right.
Okay. Lida, by the way, as I'm sure your character would have checked, is sharing the room with another girl about her age. No, I'm sorry. She's sharing a room with her mom. She's not an orphan.
Yeah, it would make more sense.
Oh, that sounded horrible. She's not like
She's not like those
orphans.
Other kids.
Your wife has taken another room similar to the rooms that you all have been offered, and she has moved a bunk bed in there so that Lida can sleep on the top bunk and she sleeps on the bottom bunk. So you do go outside and sleep out there. Muri, if you do stay up the whole night, I just want to let you know, which you're more than welcome to do, your character would be fatigued the next day, which means that she will not be able to run or charge, and she will take a -2 penalty to your strength and dexterity scores. And 8 hours of complete rest will fix it. Or magical means, of course, if you have those.
Okay.
So, give me a second. I don't know if that would really make a big difference to Muri, your ability. So, your strength is a 16. Yeah, so it would drop your strength modifier to a 2 and your dex modifier to a 1.
Okay.
Drop it to a 2 or drop it 2
drop
points?
the modifier to a 2.
Okay.
Not to the score itself. All right. So the next morning, we'll say, well, I guess it kind of depends on what time you all wake up. So 6-ish, 7-ish, 8-ish.
Arlen's gonna be up around like 7 or 8,
Okay.
so she gets a full 8 hours sleep.
And we'll say that's probably about the time the kids are going to start waking up too. And at that point, it's going to be hard for most people, except me. Well, that's going to be even harder for Otto to sleep because the morning hustle and bustle is going to start going by, talking
I
about
think he would be
silly
used to
beggars
that.
sleeping on the streets.
Status quo.
Yep. So is it safe to say everyone gets up, say, around 8 or so?
Sure.
Except for Murray, who didn't really go to bed.
Mm-hmm. She just kind of gets up with the sun and starts making food.
Okay. So we'll say that everyone wakes up and you all sit down to a good breakfast, and you're sitting down to a breakfast and to talk about what Otto found and where to go next.
Yeah, and just so for the sake of not repeating myself, let's just assume full disclosure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to start? What's your next step from here?
Oh, you said they only hand out in the morning, correct? Do you know when they cut off the supply?
Not specifically, no. Muri, do you recognize this kind of meat?
Mary, you have a cooking skill, don't you?
I do.
Okay. I need you to roll me that, please.
Though she
And
doesn't
roll this.
eat red meat, but yeah, I suppose it's the craft skill.
Oh wow. Okay. Yes, please roll me that.
Yeah, she doesn't eat red meat, so.
But you still cook it from time to time. Like you have a cooking skill, right?
Mm.
So if you have a cooking skill, I assume that it wouldn't be hard to. You would have been exposed to different types of meats and how to prepare it, and even if it's not part of your menu, like a chef may not make hamburgers, but he would still probably be able to tell what kind of beef it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled very low on my die. Okay.
Is that good or bad?
Muri, you don't know what kind of meat this is, but it's not beef, it's not pork, it's not lamb, or any other type of meat that's generally used.
Long pig, I'm telling you.
Mm. What? What is a long pig?
We're long pig.
Oh, okay. Is that another one of those slang things? I don't know.
I guess so. Yeah, that's
Okay.
unsettling.
I do not know what this is, but I would prefer not to have it in my house.
Yeah. Makes me wonder about this quote-unquote rancher that they're getting this meat from. Because I had the impression he was telling the truth about that, but I mean, I don't know.
But did you roll for it?
What do you mean roll?
That was a character. Anyways.
Yeah, I know. I'm just fucking around. I mean, I didn't get much to go off. We could show up there and try and get some meat or something, or we could just try and say we want to join up. I don't know how we want to approach this. They seemed standoffish. I have a hard time believing that we'll get accepted as anything other than arm's length. Take the meat and get the hell out.
Do we still want to try and do the guard?
I don't know.
We don't know if that would be any safer.
Okay, real quick. Breakfast has been prepared. I'm going to say both Muri and me are going to bed.
Yeah, it's pretty late, and this is probably a good time to stop because we're not going to be able to get into the next part anyway. So
absolutely. I was gonna wait for you guys to finish your strategizing, but it might be better to end here and give you guys some time to think about what you want to do next.
Sounds
So
good.
we will go ahead and end the session here.